Trey has been in the mortgage industry for about 15 years. He spent 10 of those years at Movement Mortgage learning how to craft a story, helping growing the business from 1 billion in organizations to over 25 billion by the time he left. Then he spent almost 5 years in direct to consumer mortgage lending, where he learned the true digital marketing and advertising, helping Wyndham Capital grow from over 1.5 billion in 2019 into over 6 billion at the end of 2022. Guys, this is one of the neatest people I met. I've only got to spend about 3 days with him and his sunburn, which I'll let him explain that story later. Him and I suffered in Mexico together. But Trey, thank you so much for joining us today. The only thing that Trey asked is we will take questions. I'm watching the chat screen. He will leave time for questions and answers. So please fill up that chat screen. And what I'll do is I'll go backwards. I'll read him every one of the chats or every one of the questions that we have time for. So guys, please feel free. Any topic that Trey touches, do you want to ask questions? Stick in that chat box for us and I'll make sure he gets them. So without further ado, let's turn it over to the master. Trey, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, Jonas, that was such a kind introduction, man. Thank you so much. Well, guys, I'm really excited to kind of talk to you guys about this subject. This is a subject that, like Jonas just said, I spent about 10 years over at Movement Mortgage with retail loan officers. And in that time, I was able to, really kind of harness and craft my storytelling abilities. And, honestly, I'll tell you guys this, going through like the 2010s and whatnot, and leaving Movement, I thought I was the top of my game. Then I got into consumer direct and started working with consumer direct loan officers that wanted to learn retail strategies and realized, whoa, that's a whole other beast right there. And it taught me a lot about what it takes to actually go ahead and digitally market yourself. It showcased for me this concept of like, where are people going? Where are they starting to spend most of their time? I can ask all of you guys this exact same question, but hey, when you're looking to wind down at night, if you enjoy to partake in some wine right before bed, you likely have your phone that's in front of you. You're scrolling on your phone and you're ingesting information. Now, there's an entire different training that we should talk about we need to kind of probably be better about being more mindful with our family and whatnot. However, it's where we've all started to kind of go from a place that we get information. And so I want to thank you guys, so much for joining today. Like, it's honestly a pleasure to be part of such a dynamic group, eager to leverage, the immense potential of social media in the real estate world. So before we get started, I love stats and all this other kind of stuff, but consider this really quick, okay? Research from NAR showed in 2024 that a staggering 77% of home buyers said that social media was a primary way of them finding their home, whether that be through listings that, maybe a real estate agent shared on social, whether it be maybe a friend ended up buying a house and they ended up kind of going and, hey, tell me who you ended up kind of getting your home from, da-da-da-da. People were making their primary decision off of the use of social media. Furthermore, nearly 82% of them vetted their real estate agents based on their online presence before making a choice. That would be going to their social media, trying to get an understanding of who they are, what they do, what they say about themselves, and what other people say about them. And listen, I'm not one to just throw out stats. I cite my sources, okay? This is from an article called Real Estate in the Digital Age for 2024 report from NAR. And so, guys, now here's the real challenge that we're facing. Despite a clear shift to digital platforms, many talented real estate professionals are just not maximizing social media to its full potential. The crux of the issue, in my opinion, and what I've learned, is it's a content creation issue. A daunting task for many that can lead to missed opportunities, a lack of audience engagement, and ultimately a plateau in finding new opportunities through social media. And our goal today is to be able to change that. We're here to go ahead and empower you to be able to craft a strategy that not only complements your one-on-one interactions, but amplifies your reach to the digitally connected buyer or seller. So with all that being said, let's embark on this transformative journey together, all right? Let's see if I can get my screen to actually click to the next screen. There we go. All right. And also a little bit of feedback on this real quick, guys. I have spent the last 2 to 3 years working on this presentation. It has been a lot of trial and error, a lot of trying to figure it out as we go. And honestly, when Jonas called and was like, hey, we want to potentially have you kind of talk on one of these things, it felt really fulfilling to know that I could take something that I've been working on for so many years and really kind of turn it into a presentation that I think that we can all try to find benefit from. So how do we tackle this problem head on of, man, I don't get onto social media because I don't know what to post. I don't know when to post. I don't know what to say. I don't know where to create content, and I just don't have time for it. How do we tackle this problem head on? Well, the agenda that I prepared for you guys today is a roadmap to overcoming these challenges and unlocking the full and your full potential of social media. Here's what we kind of have in store. First, we're going to dive into content categories. This is going to be your educate, brand awareness, and entertainment content buckets. These are your pillars of compelling content creation. Next, we're going to explore how to use the idea generation framework, a practical tool that keeps those creative juices flowing. And then after that, we'll see how to leverage ChatGPT to be able to speed up content creation. Yes, AI can be your ally. Despite everything that you hear, we're not creating Terminators, okay? We're creating content. See how I did that there? Finally, we are going to utilize Canva to quickly create assets based off the content that we develop together because great content needs, a great design. And so by the end of our time today, you won't just understand why you should be active on social media. You'll have a clear action plan for creating content that resonates and reflects your unique brand. And the best part of it is that you'll learn how to do it efficiently and at scale. And so, hey, listen, to kind of keep up with the digital savvy buyer, you got to make sure that you're taking advantage of these types of resources and opportunities. And so let's get into content buckets. So content buckets, they're essential when it comes to, a killer social media marketing strategy. The three content buckets, like I said before, are brand awareness, education, and entertainment. Why these three that you might be asking? Well, at the end of the day, it's because they work. They're proven to engage and grow audiences, connecting you to your community like never before. Brand awareness is all about, insight into who you are and the unique value that you bring to the table. It's your digital handshake, your introduction to potential clients. Education is where you flex your knowledge, your subject matter expertise. It's where you become the go-to source for real estate insight. From market trends to financial tips, it's all about showcasing your expertise and setting you apart. Entertainment is where you make those meaningful connections. It's interactive, it's fun, and it's where your personality shines through, engaging your audience on a personal level. These buckets will not only define your online presence, but they also make content creation a breeze when you start to break them down systematically. You see, when you have categories like these, you don't just post, you post with purpose. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've seen kind of missed when getting onto social media is there's lack of purpose and strategy in what you're trying to achieve. So before we go any further, let's make sure that we have those pens and papers available as we deep dive into these categories and get those creative juices flowing. All right, let's get personal and dive deep into brand awareness, okay? This is where you tell the world, hey, here is what I'm all about. Okay. Now, listen, we're not creating content right now. What I'd like you to do with your pen and paper as we're kind of going through these, we're going to go through 3 different screens and you're going to see 5 prompts on the screen. What I want you to do is I want you to jot down on the side, hey, maybe some ideas that pop up to the top of your head when you see some of these questions or you see some of these bullet points that are actually out here. The idea here is that we're going to jot some of this stuff down and it's going to eventually go into our next section of this presentation. So we'll start off with, hey, what is your business? Not just the name on the sign outside, but the heart and soul of your retail practice. It's your philosophy, your approach to serving clients, your niche, be it luxury properties, sustainable homes, or that you're the go-to expert on a particular neighborhood. I live here in Charlotte, North Carolina, or right outside Charlotte, North Carolina. And there are neighborhoods all over the place. And these neighborhoods are synonymous with, listen, there's a place called Plaza Midwood here, and that's where you want to go ahead and bar hop. That's where you go. If you want to go ahead and be like a suburban dad that cares about, his lawn, me, Bermuda, by the way, ruined it last year. Did not put enough pre-emergent down. That's on me. We won't go into that. But that would be the Fort Mill area. If you want to go see the rich bougie folk and you want to just go and see all of their big freaking properties, you go to the Weddington area. I'm sure for each and every one of you, there are neighborhoods that are just popping up in your head around you that you might be aware of that you can just rattle those things off of. The goal of this exercise that we're doing right now is we're going through and just jotting some of these ideas down. So who are you? That's the next one that we have over here. You know, you're not just the name on a business card. You're a story, a journey, and a collection of experience that adds depth to your professional image, your background, your accolades, your community work. These are the chapters that make your story worth reading. I heard it said the other day, somebody said, man, people don't get on, social media just to kind of get information. They get on social media to be able to hear stories. I think about, the times that I've kind of like binged watched TikTok or something on Instagram. This is going to show, like, listen, who doesn't like murder mysteries? Okay. You might be wanting to judge me, but I'm going to ask that you pull that one back because who doesn't like murder mysteries? I absolutely scrolled through 17 3-minute long videos to find out who done it. Okay. We all do it because we're all captivated by a story, and people will read anything, will listen to anything. And so who are you? What story? What's your journey been like to get to the place that you are right now? How do you bring value? Is it, bespoke service that you offer, the personalized attention? Is it the way that you harness technology to streamline the search and sale process? Every detail counts. Is that something that you kind of think of? Why would someone enjoy working with you? Is it, the smooth, stress-free transaction, or the warmth and genuine care that you show every client, or the pure passion that you have for real estate and home ownership and the American economy and what that does for people? Finally, why trust you? This is where your reputation, your transparency, and your track record of success become your strongest ally. A lot of people will call this your social proof. When I mentioned earlier about people going to check you out on social media, a lot of the time what they're looking to do is, what are other people saying about this person? What are other people, kind of giving them high fives around? How knowledgeable are they truly? Understanding these facets about your brand is the first step in creating content that resonates, attracts, and builds lasting relationships. In our next bucket, education, we're transforming you into a beacon of knowledge, okay? And so again, as we're going through these, just kind of jot some notes of things that just pop up into your head as I'm talking through some of these. Market insights and trends, because understanding the pulse of the market is crucial, and sharing that insight positions you as the expert. What market insights and trends are you well aware of? How fast is a certain neighborhood's properties going right off into contract? Different things like that. Financial guidance and options, where you break down the often intimidating world of mortgage, refinances, and interest rates into digestible pieces of wisdom. Hey, listen, loan officers aren't the only ones that can talk about this stuff. You are also a guide in this transaction. Buying and selling strategies, where you guide your client through the labyrinth of real estate transaction process, offering clarity and confidence, legal and regulatory insight. Because listen, hey, the legalites of the real estate kind of world can be a minefield. There's so much that happens from that perspective that you've built institutional knowledge around, and you're the guy that can safely help them, navigate this minefield. Investment and property management, where your expertise helps clients see the potential and profits the potential and profits, and ultimately, I guess, the pride in real estate investment. Think about stories where you found somebody that just found they're a first generation investor, and there's somebody that's able to go ahead and get another home, and they're able to start to talk about the wealth that generated. You being able to retell that story is captivating. And then explaining how to actually do it is even more captivating. It's all about educating with purpose at the end of the day, with content that informs and empowers. It's about building a smarter, more confident community that looks to you for guidance. That audience that you're building around you, that's looking to you to be able to help navigate them through not only the financial transaction, but the process of being able to find a home. Next up, entertainment. I apologize. I might be getting a lot of water. Here in the Carolinas, the pollen is pollinating, to say the least. All right. So last, let's turn our attention to entertainment. This is where we connect, where we share the joy and sometimes the lighter side of real estate, right? Interactive engagements, because who doesn't love a good poll or quiz? They're fun, they're engaging, they invite your audience to be an active part of the conversation. Behind the scenes insights, pulling back the curtain on your day to day, showing them what goes into staging a home, or what it's like at an open house, or how you negotiate deals. It's the real, relatable, and raw moments that draw people in, and sometimes can actually cause them to laugh. Talking about behind the scenes pieces in there. Hey, maybe it's that one time that that person walked in with muddy shoes into a show that you were showing, and you were like, "Oh my gosh, did you really just do that?" There are funny pieces that you can begin to throw in here to be able to continue to build a story that people want to engage with. Community spotlights and local features. This is similar to kind of what we talked about, the neighborhoods, but maybe you're in the know on the local bakeries or breweries that are kind of starting to pop up, parks, how close they are to neighborhoods, and being able to speak about that value. Client success stories and testimonials. These are going to be, again, we're going to talk about social proof. This is your social proof right here. Fun and humorous content, because again, like I said, a little laughter goes a long way. Whether it's amusing house showing tales, I think about a story I heard once of a person walking into an ex-girlfriend's house that was being shown, and seeing a picture of them on the wall. That had to be awkward for them and their future wife. That's a funny story. People would laugh when they read something like that, so long as they're cool with it, right? The golden question remains, though, how do we take these content pillars, all the stuff that we kind of just talked about, though, from brand awareness, education, entertainment, and churn out not just a few posts here and there, okay, but a wealth of content? How do we translate them into nearly 144 distinct social media subjects that keep your audience coming back for more? The answer lies where we're about to go ahead and uncover a strategy that I'm going to show you guys that equips you with a trove of content possibilities, ensuring that your social media presence is dynamic, varied, and is as varied as the clients that you actually serve. So let's buckle up. We're going to go into a thing that I like to call the idea generation framework. So let's zero in on this idea generation framework. It is a powerhouse tool for unlocking nearly endless content possibilities, okay? This isn't just a list, okay? It's a strategic planner that aligns with your professional rhythm and opens up, honestly, a year's worth of content opportunities. With 6 distinct audience types and 8 subjects per audience across each of these core content buckets that we just discussed, we've got a matrix that is robust and ready for action. Whether you opt in for an annual deep dive or a biannual content sprint, you'll walk away with a tailored blueprint when you utilize this idea generation framework that streamlines your social media engagement for months. This is all about smart, focused work. With block scheduling, you can dedicate a single day to kind of filling out this spreadsheet that I'm going to show you guys here in a second, and that frees you up to be able to do the more important things like building relationships digitally by investing in those who like, comment, and share your content that you're actually posting. If you're able to knock out the barrier, which is the content, all up front, it opens up your time to do what you guys do best, which is build relationships, right? Our mission today is to populate this framework and to unlock your potential to be present, responsive in your digital community without the constant pressure of content creation looming over your head, okay? So understanding your 6 audiences, guys, it's a non-negotiable in crafting content that resonates. Each of our 6 audience types brings a unique perspective and needs, from potential buyers just starting their journey to luxury home buyers seeking exclusivity and elegance. What we have up here are options of different people that may be in your audience that you could develop content toward. For potential buyers, with the guide, for potential buyers where you're the guide shining a light on their path to home ownership, while active buyers need a knowledgeable ally in their ongoing quest for a perfect home. And let's not forget about your former buyers who may be mulling over the idea of a new investment, an upgrade, or even downsizing. They rely on you for continued support and updated knowledge. Investors and relocation clients, each with their own set of expectations that you'll see up here at the top, and requirements. They seek content that speaks directly to their interest, be it financial growth or a smooth transition to a new environment. I don't know how many of you guys live in a military town, but relocation clients happen all the time. By dissecting these audience types, we'll ensure that our content not only hits the mark, but also speaks to the heart of our clients' aspirations and their concerns. Over here on the y-axis, again, I don't know why. I was not a good student in school. I don't know why I decided to put x-axis and y-axis. I could have just said vertical column and horizontal. I don't know. That's just what made it in here, and we're going to go with it. All right. So as we map out our content subjects, we see a rich tapestry of themes, 24 to be precise, okay, between all three different sheets, spanning across, these different buckets. This isn't about random posts. It's a curated collection designed to engage, educate, and entertain. From client testimonials that share real stories of success to professional achievements that underscore your credibility, each subject here is a thread in a large narrative of your brand. Behind the scene peaks and funny stories infuse your human touch, allowing you and your audience to connect beyond just a transaction or a listing. This tapestry of themes is key to your social media presence that's vibrant, varied, and above all, valuable to your audience. It's time now to take these themes and weave them into some content. I'm sure you guys are like, daggone, Trey, that's a lot of talking, a lot of showing some stuff. How do I even put it into practice? That's a great question. Okay. It's what I'm going to get you guys to do really quick is I'm going to get you to, if you have a phone, you can take a picture of this, or, oh no, I'm trying to see if I can actually copy this really quick. Jonas, if you take a picture of that and it gives you a link on your phone, if you wouldn't mind just sharing that in the chat, that'd be great. For some reason, I'm unable to copy from my speaker notes. But, as I was talking through this entire thing, you guys may have been thinking, all right, Trey, this is all great. You're showing some really cool stuff. Can I have it? Yes, you can. Okay. Go ahead and download this worksheet. Share it with as many people as you want. Really, the goal here is that you actually have something that you can begin to take advantage of and begin to kind of work through. So let's dive into the practical side of things with this worksheet. So this worksheet in front of you is more than just a piece of paper. Okay, we're not going to do any action on it right now. So once you have it, kind of put it off to the side, and let's make sure that we're looking and paying attention to kind of what we have up on the screen so I can explain how you guys kind of move through it, okay? So this worksheet in front of you, again, it's more than just a piece of paper. It's an architect's plan for your social media presence. The top, like I said a second ago, is your list of audiences, the people that you're speaking to, your future clients, your current fans, the community you'll build your digital home with, right? Take a moment to look at your business model. Think through maybe some of the things that we talked about earlier in who are you? What is your business? Who are the clients that you're serving? Does potential buyer or luxury buyer or investor align and resonate with the type of clients that you do business with? Or is it multifamily homes or manufactured homes that are more your speed? This piece right here, I want you to be able to go ahead and customize it. This framework is flexible and it's meant to fit you and your brand like a glove. So down on the left-hand column, we have subjects or themes that you can call them whatever you want to call them, okay? And these are the foundation of content that you'll create, like we discussed a second ago. But again, feel free to tweak. Is there a subject that's unique to your approach? We'll add it in over there on the left. And so now let's go ahead and try to put some of this into action, okay? So what we're going to do, and the way that you would fill this out is that you would look at the vertical column of the audience, and then you would look at the horizontal row of maybe the subject or theme. And the goal here would be to look at potential buyer, then market presence, potential buyer, and maybe a client testimonial, potential buyer, and services that are differentiating. And you would fill out not the post, you're not writing a post yet, but just an idea of something that you've kind of gone through in your life that you think would be applicable, or I'm sorry, with not just life, but I mean, I guess maybe your life, but your real estate, processes. And then fill in a couple of ideas on some of these, okay? What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to write those down, just a couple of ideas. You can do it as a digital PDF, or you can kind of write them in hand drawn. And so let's put this into action really quick to kind of explain what that really kind of looks like. So if we're looking at the brand awareness sheet, and we consider our potential buyer, and then we do maybe the horizontal row of market presence. In there, we kind of define market presence as showcasing your market knowledge and presence. You might jot down something like showcase stats and figures for a local school district that paint a picture of future growth. For example, for me, like I said, I live right outside of Charlotte. The school district that I live in is the #1 in South Carolina. Maybe that's what you write in there. Hey, in the area that you guys are currently living in, or where you do a lot of your business, hey, for potential buyers, they need to know that this school district, this is the #1 place that you can go in the overall South Carolina education system. Now let's move over. Let's look at active buyers, and we're still going to stay on market presence. Here you could write something to the effect of like, highlighting a recent success story of a buyer who snagged their dream home in a competitive market. And we're going to focus on the competitive market, maybe the Lake Ridge community. I'm just going to throw my community name in there. Average time on market is, maybe let's say that it's it's 24 hours. I think most people are probably feeling that right now. But maybe that's what you kind of write in here. And what ends up kind of evolving from that is you tell a story where you were able to help find somebody, kind of get inside that neighborhood within 24 hours. And you're underscoring your role in that win. Does that make sense? How are we feeling? Is that kind of like you understand exactly what we're trying to do? We got vertical, horizontal, where they meet in the middle. That's where we start to fill some things out. So what I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to actually turn it over to you guys really quick, okay? I want to ask you guys, we're going to brainstorm these exact same two pieces right here. We're going to stick with brand awareness. We're going to look at potential buyers and market presence. Really quick, whether it's in the chat or whether it's somebody letting you off mute, what's an idea that you could kind of put in for a potential buyer that you're showcasing your market knowledge and presence? Somebody throw out an idea.
Feel free to take you off of mute and talk, guys. He can definitely hear you.
Also, I have no problem with awkward silence. I'm so sorry, guys. I could sit here all day and just be like, we're all going to stare at each other. You're like, this is the worst. I don't want that. Somebody wrote in there loan options. So for a potential buyer, showing your market knowledge and presence, yeah, maybe loan options. Maybe you're in a USDA area. Maybe you're in, a potential area that, does require something like that. That's a great idea. Let's also look at active buyers. What's something else? Or look at anywhere on the sheet. I post weekly market updates on my social media. Yes, exactly. That's a great idea. The piece here is that what we want to do is we want to make sure that when we're posting some of this update, that what we're doing is we are gearing it towards an audience. You want to speak directly to an audience. If we know that we're going to be speaking to 6 different audiences, it doesn't mean that you're going to find yourself kind of like narrowed in on something. Somebody got off mute?
I was just going to say, one of the things you can always do is show your expertise with the first-time home buyers market, because that is, as a realtor, one of the hottest spots to be right now, because they are experiencing a big, impact right now, because it's, such a hard thing for them to get started.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. What would be what would be an idea of something that you could focus on from a first-time homebuyer perspective?
Well, working with my lenders to give them information, because most of them come in blind. They really don't have any concept of even how to start the process. When they start looking for a house, they're brand new. They've never done anything like this before. So the ability to give them information and to lead them in the right direction will just it'll be greatly, greatly accepted and appreciated.
Absolutely. That's such a great suggestion right there as well. And so it seems like you guys are getting this concept that we have our audiences, we have our subjects, and where they meet in the middle, we actually start to fill out a story or we put something in there. Now, because I'm very competitive, and Robin told me that she had like 200 people like attend hers. I wanted to make sure that if you guys ever hear that I'm on these calls again, that you know that I'm giving stuff out for free. So I'm going to give you guys a special gift. If I can get my screens to work. There we go. A special gift really quick in that I've gone ahead and filled out every single one of these 144 subjects and themes for you. Okay. So go through, scan this document again. I do apologize that I am having a problem kind of copying and pasting it. Even if we send an email out afterward, I can share some of this with you. But I filled it out for you. Now, listen, this doesn't mean that, hey, all of these content ideas are going to be completely applicable to you. Okay. But this Excel sheet gives you the opportunity to be able to go in and be a guide, let you kind of get your hands dirty a little bit so that you're able to start making some of the habits happen on planning out your social media, planning it out strategically and with purpose, and then developing content around that. And so far, we've talked about, hey, we want to make sure that we understand ourselves and our position on social media, that it's our job to, spread our brand awareness, making sure people know who we are, that we're educating them, that we're making sure that they know that we're an expert, and that we're entertaining them because we know that people are engaged with stories and that they are captivated by them. And they're things that people want to hear and read, and they enjoy those types of things. And so we've gone through those areas. And then we went through and we looked at this idea generation framework. Now, could have spent a lot of time on this, but it's pretty self-explanatory on taking those audiences, taking our understanding of ourselves, and mirroring and then matching those at a cross section with our subjects and themes. And that's awesome. This is all great, but you still might be asking yourself, Trey, you still haven't said, how do I get a daggone caption out of this? From concepts to captions using AI. All right. I love this title, by the way. I came up with it myself and I was very happy with it. So listen, you've laid the groundwork with your themes. And, guys, honestly, that idea generation framework is 75% of the battle won. That is where your thought equity is going to actually be applied. Okay. Now it's time to bring in the big guns, AI. And yes, it's about to get a whole lot easier. AI, as we've continued to kind of see it kind of transform the game over the last couple of years, it's been one of those things that I've found personally that I use basically every day at this point. Show of hands really quick. I don't know how you're going to show your hands. Maybe Jonas can actually see. But show of hands, how many of you guys have actually tapped in?
I was prepared for 365 days.
I agree. So show of hands really quick, how many of you guys have used AI in the past to be able to write an email or to maybe be like, hey, I want to call this person a jerk, but I want to say it in a politically correct way? Yeah. I've done that a couple times. I actually did that for a couple text messages as well. My brother was wilding out and I had to just kind of put him in his place. And so all right, we got experience at least using AI to be able to tame ourselves, to calm ourselves down maybe a little bit as well. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to harness the Risen prompt framework with ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT is free, okay? You guys, anybody can go to it. You go to chat.openai.com, I believe is the web URL, or just Google it and you'll find it. You can create an account and immediately get in. But what we're going to do is we're going to use the Risen framework with ChatGPT to take your ideas generation framework and turn them into captivating, must-share content. Think, eye-catching headlines, engaging captions, and those oh-so-important hashtags that make the algorithms love you, right? We're going to focus on static content today, but keep in mind that the principles that we're discussing, they're just as applicable to any other type of content that you might want to create, whether that be an SEO-optimized blog, whether that be video. The idea generation framework is coming up with ideas of content. Your output and how it will be interpreted is going to be what you do through the AI and what we're going to talk through here in a second. To keep things simple for today, all we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about developing static content. And so that's going to be hey, a headline on an image, your caption, and then your hashtags. So let's demystify AI prompts really quick, because they're really kind of your passport to seamless content creation. A prompt is essentially a conversation starter with AI. All right, it's how you tell ChatGPT what you need. And why are prompts so crucial? It's because AI is like a super efficient assistant that needs clear instructions. The better you communicate what you want, the better AI can serve up those perfect social media snippets that resonate with your audience and reflect your brand at the end of the day. Imagine this for a second. My daughter loves, I don't even know what they're actually called. They're like lemon bombs or something like that you can get at Starbucks. Okay. I don't know if it's officially on their menu or anything like that, but she knows all the ingredients. And so imagine going up to the window or to the barista and saying, hey, I would like, this ginger lemon tea with 3 shots of this, 2 pumps of that, a little bit of sprinkle, maybe do a twirl, and then please give me my drink. That's essentially my daughter's order. It's a lot, okay? Imagine you're at a coffee shop, and instead of just asking for a coffee, you actually give that specific order. That's essentially what AI prompting is. It's your specific order to the universe of AI, okay? Ensuring that you get exactly what you're looking for. When the barista comes back, my daughter picks up that drink and is like, that's good. Yes, because she was very explicit with what she was telling it. And that's how we need to utilize AI. So let's get into the Rigdon framework. The Rigdon framework here is a compass for navigating AI content creation. It ensures that our prompts are clear, concise, and that they yield the results that are directly aligned with our strategy. So there are 5 pieces that kind of go into this. One is role. Role is all about defining who's in play. And so in our case, it's going to be ChatGPT, and we're going to be setting it up as the content creator. Input, this is where your information or your story feed into the AI. It's the backdrop, it's the context that shapes the content. This is where you would put what you've developed in the idea generation framework. You'd put that right in here. Steps, hey, these are where you give the AI direction. This is where you turn your idea into a series of actions that the AI is going to follow. Expectations is the destination of your journey with the AI. It's what you want to hold in your hand with the process when the process is complete. And narrowing is setting the boundaries. This is where you define what's out of bounds to keep the AI right on track. These 5 components and the Rigdon framework ensure that your prompts are nothing less than laser focused, crafting AI generated content that's right on the money. Now, again, you might be thinking to yourself, Trey, okay, you are asking to do a lot. I thought we were trying to save time right now. When we're looking at some of this stuff, these are rhythms, these are actions, these are habits that you kind of begin to put into play. And as you do so, they become a heck of a lot easier. When we look at each of these, and then we'll get into examples here in a second, you don't have to recreate the wheel every single time. Your input is what likely you'll end up kind of creating based off the different type of content that you're trying to develop. So let's bridge the gap between our idea generation framework and then the Rigdon AI prompt, okay? We're going to move from conceptual to tactical real quick, and from the drawing board to the front line of content creation. So picture this. You're sitting with your idea generation framework completely filled out. And let's say that you're guiding a potential buyer through, home buying steps. Now, how do we get ChatGPT to draft an educated and engaging response? First thing that we're going to do is that we're going to, in the role area, we're going to type in role, and we're going to assign ChatGPT as the creator, creating or crafting clear and concise steps for first-time home buyers. In the input area, this is where we're going to take what we found in our idea generation framework, and we're going to input this in here. Additionally, you may have additional context. Maybe it's a story. Maybe it's something else like that you want to continue to input inside to the AI so that it really cultivates the content that you're looking for. Steps, this is where, hey, we're going to instruct ChatGPT to break down the process into beginner-friendly content, expectations. We're aiming for a headline that's just piques interest, and captions that enlighten, things like that. And narrowing, this is where we're going to limit our word count, speak in a friendly tone, and ask for clarity and encouragement in what we're trying to kind of post. With these items in place, we create prompts that ChatGPT can now turn into solid, cold content. Okay, content that feels like you sat down and penned each and every word of your stuff. So let's go into an example. Okay, here what we ended up doing was we wrote out content creator. Maybe that's what we ended up kind of putting in for the role. For the input, we wrote, the journey to owning your first home can be full of unknowns. Maybe that's what you kind of wrote in the idea generation framework. Steps, we wrote, hey, create a captivating headline, an informative caption that breaks down home buying into simple steps, and suggests relevant hashtags. Expectations, hey, I need content that resonates for first-time home buyers. Narrowing, hey, let's keep the tone upbeat, limit to 100 words, and focus on simplicity and action. Out of this, role, steps, expectations, and narrowing can all be the same for multiple different posts. You don't have to change that, but you want these prompts in here to ensure that you're getting exactly what you want and how and remaining on brand. So let's see what ChatGPT kind of pulls up. As you can see over here, it pulled up a design headline, embark on your home buying adventure, a simple guide to your first home. Inside the caption, you see, 5 different steps that somebody could take. And then under hashtags, you can see some relevant hashtags that somebody might use. That was it. That's all we had to do. And now we have a social post completely done. Now let's maybe look at something that's a little bit more complicated. So there's one example. Let's look at another example really quick. For our next prompt, we're going to maybe do a quiz, okay? And so from a role standpoint, we're going to kind of modify some things here. I want this person to be, I want the role of the AI to be a quiz master, a social media manager, real estate agent, social media manager. So I'm going to put in for the role. For the input, hey, I'm going to take in, and I'm actually going to copy from the idea generation framework, the potential home buyers. I want to make sure that the AI is really, really educated on what it's looking for when I'm putting this in here. In addition to that, I'm going to also put in, that the subject or theme from the idea generation framework. If you go to the entertainment page, there's one called interactive polls and quizzes, and it explains exactly what it is. And then from a content perspective, I want to say that, like, hey, engage potential buyers with a quiz that helps them determine what kind of property suits the lifestyle and budget that they're looking for. Develop a series of questions, and at the end of the questions, provide a way for the potential buyer to know what type of home they wanted. Okay. You're speaking, you're telling it exactly. I always heard in marketing for the longest time, people saying something to the effect of, I have great ideas. I just don't have anybody that can execute them. If you've ever found yourself in that position or said that thing, AI is for you. You can tell it exactly what to do. Be nice in case it ever does become a Terminator and try to kill us. Steps. All right. This is where you're gonna say, I want to provide a graphic headline, that stops the scroll, that engages potential buyer audiences. You will talk about, I want a caption, I want all these different things for you to be able to develop, and then expectations, produce content that's engaging. Okay. So we ended up writing this very nice and elaborate prompt. Again, the key piece here for you guys to all remember is role, input, steps, expectations, and narrowing. So what did it come back with? So what it ended up doing was it actually kind of developed a carousel for us where we'll be able to go through and say, all right, we'll have somebody define what is their family size. And they go and pick 1, 2, or 3, which is important to them, safety or quiet. Are they looking for a relaxing home? Are they working fully remote, or are they working full-time in office? You can see that these things are starting to pop up so that you can begin to copy all that down, create your content, and now you have a quiz that at the very end outputs, like you can't see it here on the slide, but basically there's a results slide that came out of this. I actually did all of these for real in ChatGPT, and it says match your answers mostly with A's. Basically, it's a slide that says that if most of your answers were A's, this is probably the place that you're looking for. If most of your answers were B's, this is likely. It's insane that I think of myself as a fairly creative person, but I wouldn't have come up with some of these ideas if I didn't have an idea generation framework and I wasn't using AI to be able to develop the content that I needed. So what you end up doing is you go through the idea generation framework, you're putting these prompts in, and you're constantly going through and taking what its output, and you're maybe putting it inside a Word doc, okay? And you're starting to fill out a Word doc of about 144 different prompts. You have all that nailed down. You have content that's meaningful to your audience. Next up, how do you go ahead and use Canva to be able to turn that content into actual creative visuals? So I'm going to demystify Canva really quick, and we're going to move through this next section pretty quickly because there can be an entire training on Canva. Most of you probably already use it. For those of you who don't, this is just going to be a quick, how do I go in, find templates that actually resonate with my brand, and then that I can begin to input content on. So that's what we're going to cover really quick. So I'm going to also take a sip of water. So Canva is packed full of templates, okay? But first I want to give you guys a heads up. So if you're very new to Canva and whatnot, I want to make you aware that there's a free version that is packed full of features that you can just kind of hit the ground running with. There's also a way to level up and you get a Canva Pro account, and that's going to give you a complete new set of tools, including brand kits, an extensive image library as well. And so the brand kit basically is I want to nail down my colors, my fonts, my logo, and I want it to always be on the content that I'm working with. You also have Canva Enterprise. If you're a part of a team, you can actually have somebody you can share it to where everybody has access as well, so that you're collaborating and maintaining that brand motif. Now, on to finding that perfect template. Okay, in Canva, in its search bar, you can type in words like, hey, real estate, home listings, open house, and just watch as the collection of tailored templates appear. As you browse, look for a style that speaks to you. Are you all about clean lines and a modern aesthetic? Or do you lean towards, a warm and inviting kind of feel? Maybe it's bold and energetic and eye-catching. Scroll through and find templates that really align with the way that you want to be able to present yourself on social media. That's going to be number one as you're trying to go through and find templates. But what happens when you find one? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our AI crafted content and we're going to bring it to life. So we're going to take that engaging headline that we had come from ChatGPT, and then we're going to automatically put it into Canva. This is super simple. You double click into whatever the main area might be, and you just paste it, okay? You found a template, you're pasting and making sure that you're kind of getting that in there. And this is where the magic happens. You input your headline, you tweak the font size, the style, the color, so that it commands attention. And then think of this as, you're signed to draw people in, okay? Now, once you have your design looking to your brand standards, you're going to go ahead and click share in the top right-hand corner. You can't really see it over here. It's kind of like right there. I apologize. I kind of let that go off the side of the page because I thought it looked cooler, but then didn't realize it was very utilitarian. So you're going to click the share button in the top right-hand corner and download. And please make sure that you download a high-resolution version of the image. Now we have a design, okay? We have a design social media asset. We have a caption and a hashtag that we developed from ChatGPT. And we're all done, right? Almost, guys, okay? Almost. It's time to post it. And like I mentioned in the beginning, if you carve out a day to knock all of this out, you'll be in a position to be able to have over 144 social media posts outlined for the entire year. And if we're doing the math in your head, that basically comes out to anywhere between 2 to 3 posts a week. How many of you guys wish that you could be posting 2 to 3 times a week? All you need to do is go ahead and make sure that you're filling out this idea generation framework using the Risen AI prompt framework, and then going into Canva and putting all of that information into templates that align with what you're trying to do. Now, if you're out there scheduling, there's a multitude of different ways that you can do this. You can go in and you can manually post in here. You can go in and, to each of the platforms that you want to do and manually just post that asset, the caption, and the hashtags. Or you can go and get a tool like Plannable, Napoleon Cat, Simplified Marketing. There's a plethora, a litany of tools out there that you can use to be able to take that image that you just downloaded, take the caption and the hashtags, and automatically put them in, schedule them out on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and continue to let your content drip on your audience. So remember that the key to social media success is timing, guys. And so use these tools to ensure that your post, whether it's one of these, tools for scheduling, that your post lands in your audience's feed when they're most likely to engage. That's going to be anywhere between that like 9 o'clock in the morning hour, lunchtime, after they get the kids to bed, that 8 o'clock hour, which by the way, 8 o'clock bedtimes are gold. Love that. But these are the key times that a lot of people are getting on to social media. And so make sure that your posts align with that timeline and that you're posting consistently. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here in a second after I kind of go through, my final closing. And then I'm going to copy all of those links to Plannable, Napoleon Cat, Simplifying Mark. I'm going to post those into the chat here in a second once I'm able to kind of close down my screen when we get into Q&A. But as we wrap up today's session, let's pause and take a bird's eye view of the landscape that we've covered. We began with, a statistic that framed the importance of social media in the real estate world. Guys, your audience, your community, they're on digital media platforms. Meet them where they're at. They're making decisions based off of that. We then carved out our content pillars of brand awareness, education, entertainment, and filled our idea generation framework. Really kind of, fueled multiple months worth of content ideas. We then used AI to step up as our co-content creator, bringing efficiency and innovation to our content development. And with ChatGPT, we transformed raw ideas into refined content prompts. And Canva brought it home. We went from concepts to visually stunning designs that are bound to turn heads and spark conversation. So leaving here today, you have the tools, you have the know-how, and hopefully the inspiration to harness your social media to its full power. From concepts through creation and on to connection, you're now equipped to craft a digital presence that not only educates and entertains, but epitomizes your unique brand in the real estate market. The digital world does not stand still, and neither should you. So guys, keep evolving, keep learning. And remember, in a world of social media, you're not just building a presence, you're building a community. So all that being said, guys, we're going to jump into some Q&A. How does that sound? Sounds great. All right. And I'm also going to put these links inside the chat.
Hey, Trey, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What top 3 mistakes people make on social? If you just off the cuff, like when you look at us amateurs trying to do it.
Top 3 mistakes. Posting without purpose and strategy, I think is the number one. Just going out there and doing the shotgun approach shows that you're disorganized and your viewers see it, okay? You want to make sure that you're being strategic. Number 2, I would say, is not showcasing stories enough. People are captivated by stories. They want to feel a part of something more. They want to kind of maybe sometimes escape from the fact that their kids had sports all weekend. That was me, okay? I'll play lacrosse and football. And maybe another one would be, after not kind of posting enough stories, would be not showing social proof. If customers are coming to your social media profile to be able to validate that you are who you say you are and your business is what it is, then you want to make sure that you're showcasing your social proof at the end of the day.
Trey, I got a question for you because it's an idea that's always been in my head. I've always wanted to do customer stories. I've always wanted to show what they went through to get to the end of the day. Do you think that's a decent idea if I've just focused on their stories and how we got them from point A to keys in their hand?
I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea as a part of an overall larger strategy, but absolutely. And I think that what you can do even better is to be able to augment and not feel like you have to sit here and figure out exactly what that story is. You write out 6 to 10 bullet points of what happened in that story. You go ahead and you use the Risen framework within ChatGPT, and it'll fill in the blanks for you based off the bullet points that you put in there. You might have to refine a little bit here and there as it takes its own liberties, but that's one of the ways to augment very, very quickly a ton of stories. You sit there and you bullet point out and you put it in, and then it spits back out something that you can tailor make to you.
Guys, we just have a couple more minutes today. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat screen. Please feel free to take yourself off of mute. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Yes, Trey, the biggest question, can they get a copy of your slideshow you shared today?
Heck yeah, they can. And all of my speaker notes. You guys can see, oh my gosh, this guy was really sticking to his notes today. Didn't even realize he was reading. Thank you, Lisa, for that laugh.
Does anybody else have any more questions? I see some people getting off. We definitely will get those notes out. Anybody have any final things for Trey today? Trey, do you recommend having all these apps on your phone and creating content directly from your phone versus your laptop?
Honestly, I would say that I'm a big believer in block scheduling, guys. That doesn't align with everybody. It just is the way that my brain works. And so I really would recommend carve out a Saturday. If it was last week and I say put on the masters and just start going through that idea generation framework and try to knock as much out as in a single day as you possibly can. Where you want to be on social media is you want to be engaging that audience and the way that they interact with you. So for every like, comment, share that you have, you want to be able to spend your time focusing on that, not on content. And so I highly recommend going ahead and starting off by blocking a Saturday, going to a coffee shop, watching them at whatever you want to do. Knock this out really, really quick. You can get everything that we just said done right here in less than an 8-hour workday. If you want to spread it over the course of a week, block schedule 2 hours a day. That math doesn't work out. Block schedule like a couple hours a day to be able to kind of get up to those 8 hours. I walked 60 direct-to-consumer loan officers through this entire strategy as well as I was kind of coming up with it. And within a week, they all had 144 personalized social media assets.
Jonas, we have a question. Would you put an emphasis on video versus print post?
I think it's really dependent on how comfortable you are with video. The most important thing is story. And if you're able to tell a story better with video and captivate people with video, go with video. But people also read. And so if you feel more comfortable starting off just kind of telling the story in written form, I would go there. But it's all about your comfort level. I do believe video is the way that most of the youngins these days, ingest a lot of content. However, work your way into it. Find yourself getting into a rhythm of being able to speak in content. Like it's a completely different language when you actually kind of get into it. Find yourself getting comfortable there. Then pop on a camera and start to record yourself. Don't post it. Just send it maybe to a couple people. Hey, I'm thinking about doing some video feed or video content. Would you mind giving me some feedback? After you feel comfortable doing yourself on video a couple different times, then you can start to release 1 or 2 or 3, integrate it into a static posting strategy.
Does that answer? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any last questions before I let you guys get out of here? We really want to respect your time. Wonderful. Trey, thank you so much. We are absolutely honored that you joined us today. Incredible comments in the chat screen. Guys, the National Lunch and Learn is always the 3rd Tuesday of the month. We will have our next speaker out within the week. Trey, thank you so much for all your time today.
Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you later.